I moved to Austin in 2010. I met a man named Elephant, and he brought me down to, and he showed me these caves that were in the distance, and I had nowhere to live at the time, and so I started residing in the caves here. I'm 27 now.
27.
I came here when I was 19 years old. I do interact with people who are also homeless, but live in a different situation than I do. I feel like, I don't like to be judgmental, but I feel like to a certain degree I like tried to elevate myself from like to be more secure than it is to live in that to live in a public space like camping like that is pretty insecure. Like someone could just like find your things, steal them. I'm from Tennessee.
Tennessee.
There's a lot of caves in Tennessee. In Tennessee. There's a connection to Mammoth Caves, Kentucky, which are like some of the largest caverns in the world, I think.
Really? Wow.
And so, at an early age, I took an interest in caves, as in just the biology, the bats, and then I found out that people also lived in caves, like, I mean, of course, like cavemen. It was like some of the earliest, like, primitive man, so it was like, I was learning about my origins, in a sense. I dropped out of high school my senior year and ran away. And I went to Florida and went to a rainbow gathering, which is a commune of hippies. And then I came back home to Tennessee afterwards because I kind of felt destitute. And so I called my parents, and my parents wanted to see me and come home. And so I went back home to Tennessee, and I got in trouble for smoking weed in Tennessee. I was caught with a marijuana pipe, and they put me in jail for 6 months.
Really?
And I found it extremely unreasonable. And it felt like that pattern could continue if I stayed in Tennessee, and I was kind of scared of just being stuck in like a place where people didn't understand me to the degree that I would just be like locked up forever. So I was like, I'm gonna flee this place. It was a condemned jail too.
So what does that mean?
The place had the facilities that were not up to date, non-functional. Like there weren't windows in the whole place. It was dark inside. I kind of went like mad in a second, like in there, like yeah. I like even tried experimenting with like sleep deprivation while I was in there. Like I was awake for a period of time, and I couldn't tell how long I was awake because the light was on in the cell, and I couldn't see outside where the sun was. So I just was like, I'm just going to experiment with not sleeping since I don't understand like how the sun is rising or setting outside, and like they had me in a like even like in a solitary like cell like for some time like when I was in there. They're not supposed to hold someone like for over like 42 or 70 something hours like in a solitary, and I'm pretty sure they did that to me like over that amount of time. Like I was my sanity was breaking. Kangaroo court is whenever someone who is unable to financially like bail themselves out of jail is taken is under arrest, but then they're not able to bail themselves out of jail like someone who is more immune with money, and so they end up being like captive longer and or transported to other areas.
Yeah.
But I think that's why they call it kangarooing around, because they jump you around from place to place. And they tried to send me to like a mental health like institution place and tell me that I was like crazy and put me on like psych medications. Society like not necessarily knowing that that's even going on, that there are these privatized institutions that I like even ended up going to. The one was called GeoCare, and it was just this place that claimed to be a mental health facility of like sorts, and I have one in Tennessee and one in Conroe County, Texas, and they are these privatized institutions that are owned by individuals, and they buy antipsychotic medications and are giving them and prescribing them and enforcing to give them to individuals that don't even necessarily have a proper like medical diagnosis, and the people that they're hiring to perform medical diagnosis are also questionable.
But yeah, like a dream catcher.
Yeah, I plan on selling them when ACL comes to Austin. So I'm going to make these and then sell them hopefully, because I've been down and out for a while.
That sounds like a pretty good plan, actually, yeah. How much you hoping to get for them?
$15 to $30.
Oh, that sounds about right, yeah.
They take about 3 hours to make, approximately.
So you actually have like an electric bass over here.
Oh, this is an electric guitar body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's there's a short circuit in the jack. It seems to be functional other than that. That's why I have been keeping it, because like the only thing that's wrong with it is in the wiring and the electricity.
That's cool. Maybe you could sell that as well.
Yes. I bet I could. I'd like to fix it and play it. I used to own a Mexican Stratocaster.
Have you read a lot of these books?
Yes.
It's nice.
I collect like classics, and there's like the Quran, there's the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
There's a toad that lives in my the copy of the Arabic translation of the Quran.
Is it like a small toad? What do we got?
Let's see if he's in there. Mr. Toad. He's not in there right now. He does leave sometimes. He might be in that hole over there. But lately there's been a toad sitting like right here.
Oh, wow.
Like watching my stuff. I've been...
So you make some fires down here?
Occasionally, yeah. I probably shouldn't too much. Yeah, I have to be very careful because...
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get caught with that stuff, but...
Yeah, they might try to blame me for arson or something.
Yeah.
Here's more wreaths that I was making earlier. I literally did this just hours ago, was making one by one.
Oh, wow.
To make multiple of the dream catchers. So yeah, I've been using this as a desk. This is an easel that was up by the elementary school up there that people were throwing out. So I use this as like a kitchen table and like a desk. Over here is where I sleep. This is my hammock. I can put my stuff in here in my hammock and make it look like a decoy. And it's hanging from stalactites.
Is that pretty solid?
Yeah. I haven't had it fall or like anything. I think I could tighten it a little bit and make it a little more taut. It was attached to this tree. Yeah, all of this box, art supplies.
Oh, wow.
Here's a musical instrument I'm working on making. Yeah, it doesn't sound yet because I have to put a hole in the front of the faceplate and then raise this bridge. It probably needs a different string on it, but this is a prototype for a diddly bow musical instrument I was working on. I want to learn to make flutes and musical instruments. Like that's my thing. Like I just like being creative, and not everybody really knows or like that I do it or appreciates it or like anything, you know? It's like sometimes it's few and far between. I worked with a group called the Austin Youth Collective. They're a charity. I was a founding member of a group that started a nonprofit for charity, and we raised $1,000 to help kids who were like homeless. And it's very ironic that I'm still dealing with homelessness myself.